The Adeptus Astartes, transhuman soldiers that were designed and created to fight for humanity, tall, bulky and better in every way than a normal human. Here in this video we will assess the differences between three notable types of Astartes: the Firstborn or the original Space Marines, the Primaris, the new ones, and the Chaos Space Marines, the traitors. We will begin with each of their origin, then each of their size and design, and then go on to the gene seeds and their weaponry. So let's get to it. The origins of the Firstborn. The original Space Marines were created by the Emperor of Mankind during and after the Unification Wars on Terra. During the war, the Emperor had subdued the technocratic barbarian warlords by initially using the Thunder Warriors, which are brutish and violent super soldiers that were enhanced via similar ways to the Astartes, but their temperament were unsuited for the wars to come, as well as during peacetime. They were more akin to orcs in their barbaric warlike nature. The Emperor, in one of the few times that proved to be a dark moment for him and humanity as a whole, eradicated the Thunder Warriors in a battle in Mount Ararat. As to how it is classified, but I can say that maybe the Custodes had a part in it. So from the lessons he learned in creating these Thunder Warriors, he perfected the method and made the Astartes Legions, or also known as the Space Marines. Super soldier, although a bit less physically powerful than the predecessors, the Thunder Warriors, they were quite the opposite in temperament, fiercely loyal and disciplined with enhanced physical and mental traits. They were created to be the saviors of mankind against the Xenos enemies throughout the galaxy, shining out as beacons for normal humans to look up to. They are barely human at all, but superhuman, having been made superior in all respects by a harsh regime of genetic and somatic modifications, also psycho-conditioning as well as rigorous training in all forms of combat. They were originally assembled into 20 legions, each led by a Primarch. So now we come to the Chaos Space Marines origins, also known as the Traitor Marines or the Heretic Astartes. They are formerly Firstborn or loyal Space Marines who turn to the Dark Chaos Gods. Some belong to the original Traitor Legions, while others come from Renegade Space Marine chapters. During the Horus Heresy, they were divided into two factions, Loyalists and the Chaos Space Marines, who pledged themselves into the ruinous powers of chaos. While some worship all the four Dark Gods, others dedicate themselves to just one. They were led by the fallen Primarch War Master Horus Lupercal and the other Primarchs that joined his side during the Horus Heresy, where they fought alongside demons, dark mechanicums, and chaos cultists. Exposure to the warp twisted their flesh and armor into inhuman forms. They now seek war, death, hedonism, and power to destroy or corrupt humanity and all other life, unlike their past role as the guardians of the Imperium. Now we come to the origins of the Primaris. These new Primaris Space Marines are very much disliked by a lot of the 40k fandom, mainly due to the perceived notion of them making the Firstborn obsolete. Nevertheless, the origins of theirs were supposedly 10,000 years in the making, as of the timeline in the Grimdark universe. They were first developed by Belisarius Gall using a genetic template of the original Space Marines created by the Emperor. They were then created on the orders of Primarch Robuda Guilliman after the second founding, but were kept in stasis or being developed slowly and steadily and not awakened due to the Primarch's perceived death, and in doing so without him, Belisarius Gall would definitely be killed by the Inquisition. But when Guilliman was resurrected and became the Lord Regent of the Imperium once again, they were deployed across the galaxy as part of the Indomitus Crusade. They were used to reinforce near-depleted Marine chapters and also founding new chapters consisting of only the new Primaris. Nowadays, most chapters have received or gained access to the Primaris Space Marines, or have chosen to upgrade certain Firstborn warriors to their status through the Rubicon Primaris surgical procedure. Initially, this would not have been possible due to this being perceived as trying to outdo the Emperor's own great work, the Firstborn. But Guilliman's resurrection, the Emperor's blessing, and with the Adeptus Custodes actually endorsing the deed, none of the Imperium could oppose it. So let's take a look at their designs, all three of them. The original Astartes stand at a height of between 7 and 8 feet tall, or 2.1 to 2.4 meters on average, with a few exceptions growing taller than the rest. They usually weigh in between 400 to 500 kilograms, or between 880 to 1100 pounds. They are bulky and massive, but all in all appear human in every aspect, Well, aside from the space wolves who have the Canis helix, a DNA sequence that gives them a werewolf-like appearance. The Primaris have the same appearance as that of a normal Firstborn Astartes, but due to an additional gene seed called the Magnificat or the Amplifier, their growth spurt is even more enhanced, with them standing more than 8 to 9 feet tall on average, with a few reaching 10 feet or 3 meters in height. Their weight is also greatly increased, up to more than 600 kilograms or 1320 pounds. As for the Chaos Space Marines, their design and appearance differs individually depending on the rate of mutation and the amount of blessings they receive from the Chaos entities. The mutating effects caused by living inside the Eye of Terror, the warp, can cause the body to disfigure beyond recognition. It is the effects of the Immaterium that causes the mutations. Many of the Chaos Space Marines have mutated in grotesque and horrible ways that aren't too pretty for normal human eyes to look upon. They are more akin to zombies and monsters than Space Marines at this point, and some of them have their faces melted into their helmets or even have their faces melted into their bodies, mostly because the blessings from the Chaos Gods is a tentacle or a claw or talons or crab parts or cancerous tissues. The Space Marine starts to appear more of a demon or an eldritch entity than a human. So that's in short their designs. Now let's look at their gene seeds, the most important parts. The Firstborn gene seeds. Well, these refer to the genetically engineered germ cells that develop into organs implanted into an aspirant called a neophyte. The gene seed of a Space Marine was created using the genome of a specific Primarch and is responsible for the physical enhancements of a specific Space Marine. The gene seed was originally cultivated by the Emperor using his own DNA to create his 20 Primarchs. It is a rare and valuable resource that can only be retrieved from dead or dying Astartes warriors, primarily from just the progenoid gland, which is by itself also a gene seed, but also has the ability to produce more gene seeds of all types, which can be used to make more Space Marines. Anyway, these gene seeds carry unique characteristics of a chapter and are vulnerable to mutations leading to genetic flaws such as the Black Rage and the Red Thirst in the Blood Angels, and could be traced back to their Primarch, Sanguinius. There are a total of 19 gene seeds and new unique organs that emerge from them in the original Astartes. So the Chaos Space Marines. The Traitor Marines have the same gene seeds as the originals, as they were at one point of time the same as their Loyalist counterparts. For legions with stable gene seeds like the Night Lords, they still use their own collected from their defeated brethren. For those with heavy mutated gene seeds, they steal stable ones from the defeated and dead loyal Space Marines and use them instead. Due to the power and the taint of chaos, the gene seeds as well as the entire body of a Space Marine becomes mutated and contorted. While the somatic elements like the muscles, bones and physique might become greatly enhanced for death and destruction, the gene seeds, however, at many times become affected, corrupted, up to a point where it becomes useless. Now we take a look at the Primaris Space Marines. These new Marines are still created with the original gene seeds of the Loyalist Primarchs. Belisarius Call collected samples of all 20 Primarch genomes to improve upon them, and making the new ones near immune to the genetic flaws of the Firstborn, as well as being more resilient towards the corruption of chaos. They have a 0.001% chance of genetic deviation with each generation. The Primaris Marines have also 3 additional gene seed implants, and their gene seeds are more stable than all of their predecessors. This brings the total to 22 gene seeds and the new organs generated from them. And the 3 new ones are the sinew coils, which are metallic coil cables that enhance the tendons and ligaments, the earlier mentioned Magnificat, and the Belisarian Furnace, which helps in healing and resistance to shock or trauma. Now let's take a look at their weapons and armor. The original Firstborn were generally clad in advanced forms of power armors that are connected to a gene seed organ called the Black Carapace, which allows the Astartes to neurally link his body and the set armor. It is a completely enclosed suit of combat armor composed of shaped adamantium and plasteel plates encased in a ceramite ablative layer. It is by itself a life support system as well. While the older versions have a beak-like protrusion on the helmet, thereby getting the name Beakies from the orcs, the modern versions have a respirator grill in place. The Astartes weapons of choice is the bolt gun, but they also use a variety of other weapons like all of them, like an assault cannon, las cannon, plasma rifles, and melee weapons like the thunder hammer, the power and chainswords, as well as power fists and lightning claws. Each Astartes soldier also possesses a jump jet on the back. Now we take a look at the Chaos Space Marines weapons and armor. While the traitor legions differ in the gods they worship, the Primarch gene seed they are descended from, and being warped and corrupted by chaos, they still wear the same power armor as their loyalist counterparts. The only difference is that, with the corrupting and mutating effects of the warp and the chaos gods, their armor are adorned with horns, skulls, tentacles and whatnot. While Nurgle worshippers have tentacles, boils and all sort of disgusting outgrowths, Slaanesh counterparts are more into the BDSM, so to say. In short, they are different from one another in more ways than they are from the Firstborn or the Primaris. They also possess all the weapons as the Loyalists, but these are now warped and powered by chaos. And also, there are specific types of weapons granted by each specific chaos god, like the Warp Blade of Tzeentch, the Axe of Khorne, the Slaaneshi Lash of Torment, and the Nurgle Pandemic Staff, just to name a few. Now lastly, the Primaris weapons and armor. So, to enhance their capabilities in combat, if they haven't been enhanced enough, these genetically engineered soldiers are outfitted with advanced weaponry and armor more advanced than the Firstborn, and these were created on the Mechanicum Forge world of Mars by Belisarius Cawl himself. The Primaris Space Marines intercessors wear the Mark X Tacticus pattern powered armor, which combines features from ancient Horus Heresy armor with recent technological advancements. Their main weaponry includes the re-engineered and perfected Mark II Cawl pattern bolt rifle, the new Mark III Belisarius pattern plasma incinerator, and a lot of new combo weapons, combis. Other than that, they use pretty much the same weapons as the Firstborn. And so those are the differences between the Space Marines, the Firstborn, the Chaos, and the Primaris. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button for support and subscribe, but most of all, smash that bell icon for regular updates on new videos right here on this channel. Till the next one, take care, boys.